Instilling Values in Kids, and today we will talk about tolerance. How do we instill tolerance in kids? But before we do that, let's start off with a meditation. Please join me in a guided commentary. Sit comfortably with the aim of keeping the body as still as possible. The body might have tightness, discomfort, but I, the Master, at this moment withdraws my mind from the constant pull of the body, of work, family, people, home. I put everything aside to be dealt with later. And I command my mind to help me go inwards, to be in my own sweet company. How beautiful am I? Through the eye of my mind, I can see myself shining bright like a star. What I see in the physical mirror is just the body made out of matter. The real me is just a point of light. I control the expressions on the face. The smile on the face is because of me, the soul, when I am happy in love. Everything that I create as an energy is projected on my body through my face. How much time and energy have I spent trying to make the face look different? The mud matter constantly changes, goes through discomfort, deterioration, gets tired. But I, the being, the soul, my natural self is tireless, ever enthusiastic, beyond any sickness. Fire can only burn my body. Water can only drown the body. Nothing can touch me, the point of light, soul. I am beyond any harm. What a beautiful identity and potential. I am free from the fear of being harmed or mortality. I am free from the fear of changes, discomfort, because I, the soul, is consistently and naturally peaceful, loving, and happy. The body can be in extreme discomfort, but I can merge myself in God's love and not feel anything that the body is going through. I am completely separate from the costume I am wearing to express myself. I can remove the costume of mud anytime and wear it when I need to work. I don't need to feel anything that the body is feeling. Cold, hot, light, darkness, pain, discomfort, aging, tiredness. This is all the characteristics of matter. I am a spiritual energy, child of the highest spiritual energy, God. Honesty, tolerance, purity. These are my eternal qualities. When I, the soul, the master of the mind and the body, stabilizes myself in an unchangeable, consistent, and powerful inner state. The body heals faster. It regains its health because the master is in good health. My relationships change because I am sitting in a changeless, peaceful state. Spiritual energy is way more powerful than the energy of matter. And I, the lucky being, is the most elevated creation of God Himself. Wow, the beautiful me, the beautiful life, and beautiful my Father God. Thank you, dear sweet God, for bestowing so much love on me and giving me a beautiful life. Welcome once again to Instilling Values in Kids. We'll get started. This is class number 3, and today's value that we wanted to go over was tolerance. And indeed, it's a very, very critical quality. So, the instrument soul, Kusum Didi, suggested these qualities to be chosen because she felt in today's time, these are the qualities that are most needed. We talked about honesty last week, and this week we're going to talk about tolerance. So, as you might have noticed, even in the last class, I think we talked about the various sources from which these values are instilled, right? So, one of the key foundation indeed is parents. Parents, the upbringing does have a huge impact on the child, and especially for a mother who's, the deep connection starts in the womb, and this connection is unbreakable. Even if the physical ties, they might not speak with each other, but this bond is not breakable. So if a mother is carrying certain values, those values will stay with the kids. This is something that does not change. Yes, the kid does have certain, can also instill values through their own personal choice as they grow up, and they will adopt new values and they might give up some values that were taught. But it is a big foundation that stays as part of their core design. So, as parent, we can certainly show them how to be more tolerant. But one of the biggest lessons is our words and stories don't have as much impact as much as our actions do. So, indeed, whatever we are talking here is very, very beneficial. I'm hoping for the parents too. Because if the parents have imbibed it fully, even though they might not see it in their kids right now, but for me, it's a very strong faith and experience that they are observing that bond is already there, which cannot be broken. So whether they like it or they don't like it, lot of those values are already going to them, and actions speak way louder than words. So we might be teaching, and like we used an example, especially if we are just preaching without actually practicing, then it anyways has no impact on the child. So really, if the parents are able to check that do I have tolerance in me fully, then for the kids to imbibe it, it is very, very easy. It's actually almost like it is natural. They have no choice but to receive it. So the key is for the parents to have it. So, what is tolerance? I'm pretty sure all of you know, but just for the sake of starting off this class, indeed, it is our ability to remain calm internally when something is not very comfortable outside. Now, comfortable could be in many different ways, right? One is the it could be related to the physical environment, whether it is your sleeping couch or whether it is your food, the temperature, the traffic, all of those things. We time and again we run into things where these surroundings are not very comfortable. The other part of it is my colleagues or my friends or my family members, they are different from my comfortable idea of behaving. So there is a difference in the way people think, behave, believe, perform, their habits. So it is not my comfortable and natural state. They are being different from my comfortable state of acting and talking. So, can I be tolerant towards that? Or do I get disturbed? A lot of times people say, I am tolerating, I have tolerated enough for years, no more. A person who has been tolerant will never ever say single time that they've been tolerant for way too long. The moment you have said it means you were never ever tolerant. All you did is you kept your mouth shut when that discomfort was there, but internally you were crying. So, and this is a very clear cut things where a lot of times we have this language that we use that we tolerated the in-laws for very long, or we tolerated the manager for very long, or have tolerated the partner's behavior for too long. Now I am done. And not only we are thinking internally, many times we go and tell our friends and relatives, I have been tolerating a lot. So immediately, this is something to think about. And if you agree with it, see if you want to change, if you are not following the tolerance quality as per what it's supposed to mean. So, tolerance is a power where there is a discomfort, there is a difference in opinion, there is a personality that is exactly opposite of the way I would act. There is a personality that is not being very nice. I am being tolerant means their words and their actions and their behavior are not disturbing me even one bit. I'm not even thinking how much should I tolerate. It is just blank here. Nothing is impacting me. It's almost like I'm watching a movie. Nothing to do with me. I'm not related to this. That much is that inner silence and calmness. So there are variety of things that come in our life. Tolerance to pain. I was quite weak in this. I've gotten a lot better now. There is still room for improvement. But now, in the earlier stuff, I luckily I didn't go and talk about it with people as much. Very rare would I go and talk that my body is bothering me, but I would be little disturbed and I would be trying different ways to heal it, some home remedies, some exercises, or constantly trying to rest. Now it doesn't bother me that much at all, and I will not waste too much energy on my body because my tolerance power has increased. It does not disturb me. I'm not scared that, hey, if I don't take care of it, it will go bigger, right? I know that these changes will constantly happen. And yes, if there is something big, I do get myself showed to a doctor if needed. Financial downfalls or loss, they will happen. It's not always the same. Not achieving success at work, or we suppose we go to a place for travel and that hotel does not have all the facilities we are used to, or we went to visit someone and now their house doesn't have all the comforts we are used to. Am I able to tolerate it, or am I very, very disturbed? Same thing, weather, traffic, delays. How am I during those times? These are the times where we can actually check how my inner world is and how much tolerance I have. Also, during my own inner storms, when I have made a mistake, am I okay with my own mistakes, or do I get disturbed? And like we talked about, one other last factor also turns out to be um, when we are around people. This is where we see it day in and day out, especially now with the way people are moving around in the entire world. We have a variety of culture, and dynamics are so different between different communities that it's important to check, am I tolerant of other people's behavior, opinion, their silly habits, variety of different postures? Am I okay with it, or does it start bothering me? And till the parents have not figured out whether they are tolerant or not, it's very hard for the kid to imbibe it. And yes, they might grow up and become more tolerant as a personal choice, or they might be carrying the sanskara of tolerance from the previous birth. But as a parent, I can do a lot when I myself am enacting tolerance in my day to day living. And just like last time, in order to see, every time we want to instill a value fully in us, it's always good to understand deeply the profit and the loss, because this inspires and motivate us to work on that value. So one of the first beautiful result that comes from tolerance is patience. So, for example, a mother, one of the biggest qualities that a mother carries is tolerance and patience when a newborn is born, because it is completely not a comfortable kind of life in the first year for a mother. Her sleeping schedules, her eating schedule, the way she wants to work, her time for herself, everything is beyond comfort. Now, the priority is fully the young baby, all the attention has gone there. So, this is really not the comfort zone of any person to be like this, where they have no time for themselves. So, unless a mother is able to tolerate all of these changes, be okay with it, there is no way patience will arise. So, patience comes as an automatic result when you are able to stay tolerant. And automatically, when you are inside, you are stable. when you have different reasonings for why at this moment, whether I have less sleep or variety of different schedule, no schedule, I am still stable. Automatically, there is peace where there is stability. And this quality increases the power of the soul tremendously. Because what we are now doing here when we are being tolerant is everything outside, whether it could be my body, it could be my relatives, it could be my job, it could be the traffic, weather, food, sofa, bed, whatever it is, whether everything is going against me, my comfortable zone. They are completely against it. But yet, I, the soul, even though I have a preference of having a good soft mattress or a spring like weather or light traffic, whatever that normal might be, in spite of that, even though everything is against my liking, I am using my thought power to stay calm and tolerant. I'm not being dependent on anything. I'm not letting anything disturb me, even though my preference is XYZ. So, when the soul becomes so independent of all the things that are outside, it automatically, independence means what? It is able to independently stay stable. It's not relying on weather, traffic, people, body, nothing. When you live a life of independence, it automatically increases your power. You feel that self esteem that nothing can disturb you. And I have seen this a lot with Raj Yoga meditation. There are 8 powers that we all receive automatically. And we at Brahma Kumaris practice Raj Yoga meditation daily, religiously, with full of discipline. And what I have seen is like in extreme hot weather, I will not feel extreme heat. And in extreme cold weather, I will not need many layers. And this was someone I used to feel cold very quickly and I would have multiple layers. But I've seen in this last 1 or 2 years that my tolerance has become so high that the extreme changes also don't have a disturbance or effect on me. That much is the power of the soul. And when we start utilizing it, that potential is there in each one of us. It is dormant because we are not using that power. We are trying to use the power of the science and the matter. Oh, air conditioner should be on, this should be on. There shouldn't be too much noise. This should happen, that should happen. We are always trying to control things outside. Means what? We are making ourselves, the spiritual energy, dependent on matter, the physical energy, which is weaker actually. Physical energy is weaker, doesn't have as much power as the spiritual energy. So when we become dependent, we lose our power. So, one of the most important powers that we are taught in Brahma Kumaris for spiritual life or a family life is power to tolerate. It has the ability to form families and it also has the ability to break families. And because there is so much inner stability inside, there is a lot of clarity. You can see very clearly. Suppose there is someone yelling, it could be your family member, it could be your partner, it could be your in laws, it could be your sibling or your child. At that particular moment, you're being tolerant. Tolerant, by the way, is a very active state. It's not at all a passive state. Patience, on the other hand, is a passive state where you're just waiting and you are nothing. I don't want to do anything. I'm just waiting calmly. Whereas tolerant has an intention of remaining silent and thinking, really, what should I do at this particular moment? Do I really need to act or not act? So, when somebody is yelling, I might really go inside to stay calm and then pause and check, does it even make sense to respond to this? Or should I just remain calm because this person is way too upset and will not understand anything? It does lead to faster resolution. Like I said, I felt my body healed faster whenever I was able to remain tolerant of its constant changes, of its discomfort. I saved so much time and energy by not focusing on small, small changes that the body goes through. So, becoming more tolerant towards the changes. And it is one quality that actually makes many people bow down in front of you. Many people think tolerance is a weak quality, that people are taking advantage. This is one of the strongest strengths of a soul, and there is a clear intention where we are not trying to uh, be insulted or nothing like that, but there is a lot of wisdom through which we are remaining quiet at that particular moment, to either our quietness teach them that lesson that needs to be taught, or speak at a later stage where there is more impact. And the loss from to- intolerance pretty much is the moment I'm not able to tolerate. And you might have noticed this, whenever you are not in your natural state of being peaceful or happy, small, small things irritate you and you're not able to tolerate even a small change like weather change, constant irritation. And nowadays, even if internet is a little bit slow, lot of intolerance which leads to impatience, right? If you're intolerant, automatically there is lot of impatience. It leads to rigidity. Tolerance leads to a lot of adjustment. That is what a mother does. She's able to first bear the discomfort. Without bearing it, there is no patience. The moment you say, oh my gosh, this is too much, I can't take it, gone is your patience, gone is your flexibility. So, the first step that a mother takes is comfortable. And indeed, it is the love of the child that, man, I brought this child to this world, this tiny little soul, and I need to be tolerant to everything. Child comes first. So at that moment, mother gets the strength to bear all kinds of discomfort for at least first 2 years of life. And that makes her patient and flexible. Whereas intolerance is one of the top reasons of high divorce rate all over the world. Small, small things. I can't tolerate your this habit. I can't tolerate your family. Why should I adjust? The moment I can't tolerate little things, I will say I will not adjust. And that rigidness causes many families to break. Biggest reasons for divorces are intolerance, unaccommodating, cannot adjust, leads to all kinds of conflicts and war. And we have seen, right, intolerance to other people's beliefs, religion, all kinds of wars have occurred because of not being tolerant, not accepting. So that there are different viewpoints. So, what causes us to become intolerant? Indeed, it is ego, falsehood, you can call it arrogance if you want, that I know better. My belief is right. My way of thinking is right. My habits are perfect. Whatever I am saying is the right thing. When we get into this state of arrogance, then there is lot of intolerance. And this is what lot of politicians take advantage of. Lot of people are in this mind frame where they feel their religion, their community, only they should be put forward. And politicians take advantage of this. They are instigating us to become even more intolerant. But top reason is arrogance. So it's good for us as parents to check if we make fun of any of the communities or races or a country or a language, religion, or a person, because this is a sign of arrogance that we are making fun of something, and this will be instilled in the child as being arrogant towards certain people, right? Not able to cope up with every kind of personality, instead being intolerant. This is a seed, very subtle seed in the various different forms of our discussions. And lot of this is, why is it false? Because a lot of it is just based on assumption. You might have run into one person who's behaved certain way, and we blame the entire community, the race or the religion as being that. Even that person, there is a reason why they did what they did. Instead of figuring that out, we now blame the entire community that is like that person to be certain way. And when there are these external situations, indeed there is lack of contentment within us that causes us to quickly become uncomfortable inside. So, lack of contentment is nothing but I am very dependent. I can't remain happy on my own. I need my phone all the time, and the internet needs to be fast on that phone. The moment there is no electricity, I can't take it because then my phone is not there, or my appliances are not working, or my AC is not working. If I go anywhere outside, I can't stay in any ordinary hotels. I need this kind of a bed. I need this kind of a chair. I need the tea to be like this. I need so many things. Can't take little bit of change at all. It's a huge sign of discontentment or extreme dependencies on the outside world. So, my peace, my happiness is dependent on thousands of things. There are many people, when they travel with two, three suitcases. Why? Because they have to carry everything that they find comfortable in those many suitcases. They carry their comfort with them. And then whole 2 3 weeks they are tensed because what if I forget something? What if I don't pack something? So we need to check here, what all things are we dependent on? Because if we are dependent on many things, automatically kids will imbibe all of that. And then if we are not very dependent on anything, we can quickly tolerate and change, adjust ourselves, then check what are some things that disturb our kids. But first step is really to check your own self. And how do you develop tolerance? Raj Yoga meditation or the course itself teaches us some such powerful knowledge, truth about ourselves, about people, about this world, our role in this world. It gives us so many cl- points filled with clarity that every falsehood that I had within me started vanishing. And as the falsehood goes away, tolerance is automatic. So for earlier for me, any kind of discomfort, even a small tiny bit of discomfort used to feel like this. Oh my gosh, weather, or oh my gosh, traffic, or oh my gosh, this particular person. Now I know how to go within myself and keep myself protected. It doesn't bother me at all. So indeed, for me, few practices that I continue to practice to maintain this clarity. So tolerance, one of the key thing to develop is to stay in the truth, because we think of ourselves just as body, and body indeed needs lot of things, right? It needs food, it needs particular kind of food, and it needs a comfortable sofa or bed or blah blah. It needs clothing, it needs heat, coolness. There's so many needs of the body. And if I only think of myself as a body, then I will be lost in this external world, especially today's world, which is Iron Age, Kali Yuga, which basically Iron Age means things change very rapidly. In my grandparents' times, things didn't change as rapidly as they are changing now. People's mood, weather, traffic, politicians, finances, everything is on a rapid change. So, in such a living in such a world, if I don't recognize who I am and that I can stay stable, I'm not this body that needs to quickly feel, oh my gosh, too hot, or oh my gosh, too this. The more you go inwards and recognize how beautiful and unchangeable you are, the more you will not be affected by the changes outside. So, really, I have to every day in my meditation now, I don't need to do this so much, but I practice many other different things. But this is something that I have practiced a lot, and I continue to sometimes, that body is matter. It will inevitably change, and especially now, the because of the extreme climate changes, suddenly cold, suddenly raining, suddenly very hot, which is happening a lot in California, it has a huge impact. The soul and the matter, they are together, right? So the matter does have an impact on the soul. So if I am not taking care spiritually of myself, then this physical changes have a huge impact on the soul. So I have to remember that I am beyond change or harm. And what is my practice? My practice is really here to go back to home, my real home, nirvana, which is filled with this golden red light, where this is me, the tiny point of light, and this is my parent, the supreme soul. So I have a practice throughout the day. Wherever few seconds I can take out, I will quickly through my mind come here, experience the peace of this place, my real home where God Himself resides, charge myself, come back to my body. And indeed, early in the morning, I spend almost an hour doing it. I didn't start with an hour, but now I do. And there is a lot of different thoughts I am creating here. So when the soul becomes very powerful and full of peace, love, and happiness, then the changes in the matter world does not impact it. It remains changeless. And this is where the tolerance power comes. And in when we are dealing with variety of people in our life, especially for a family, mine was an arranged marriage. I'm sure quite a few of you also, if you're coming from India, might have gone through an arranged marriage. The family types, even though we might marry in the same kind of caste and religion, very different. And it's very hard if you cannot get along or understand the different family now you are connected to, if you're not tolerant. For me, it was a lot of change, and I'm sure for most people that I've heard in arranged marriage, there is a lot of changes that you have to go through. And if we as parent are not tolerant towards the in-laws family or the in-laws habits and beliefs and ideas and things like that, very subtle transmission happens the kids also become intolerant. And that intolerant might be shown to us when they grow up, intolerant towards our beliefs and things like that. And they don't mind separating because they've seen us separating because of intolerance. So it's a very, very important quality that enables us to stay connected, that this world drama is made out of variety actors. Every actor is unique, different. I need to respect people's individuality. Even their individuality is indeed made out of their own set of unique strengths and weaknesses. So, two things help in embracing people's uniqueness. When I understand I myself am unique with my own strength and weaknesses, underline we also have weaknesses. And the other part of it is understanding that these weaknesses became part of me due to certain experiences I had in life. Not just this life, multiple lives. That experience could be being brought up in a family that had practiced that weakness. That weakness could be because there was a tough challenge that I faced and I developed that weakness when facing it. So, when we understand this knowledge of how people have built their personality, it generates automatic mercy and tolerance. It doesn't emerge in us intolerance. Intolerance is a sign of ignorance and arrogance. So, when tough situations come, it's really important to acknowledge that, wow, wonderful, this situation has come to clear my karmic account. My own past is coming in the form of a discomfort. Wonderful. I am able to clear it now. I am becoming light. The soul is becoming light. The body is a beautiful instrument that is paying off the debt that I, the soul, created. It is the one that is deceased. It is helping me clear my account. And I here free. I am healthy, at ease. The body is deceased, right? So when we think of tough situations as our own past that is being cleared through the karmic settlement, and every situation enables us to gain lot of powers. It's an underline that without going through some tough situations we will not develop skills and powers. These are developed always only during extreme situations. And when we develop more skills and powers, automatically we are progressing lot more forward. Another truth is that I am a flawless creation, just like the ever diamond, beautiful supreme soul. And whatever weaknesses I might have, they are not at all permanent, nor are they natural. So when I practice some of these thoughts in my meditation, go a bit deeper. And every day, remember, if we are very habituated to think in a particular fashion, so unless we practice it every day, our habituated thinking will not change. So as we practice these thoughts, you will see that lot of tolerance power will automatically develop in you. And once you have developed it, it is lot more easier to instill it in kids. So one of the things that I had mentioned is really a lot of self-reflection is needed in order to instill these things and values in kids. So one is to check if we are being intolerant. So homework for today, to go and check whether you are openly talking about certain people, community, country, culture, language, so on, being very, very arrogant and dismissive about certain people. And another thing that causes intolerance is when we are spoiling the kids with too many facilities. Immediately a little bit heat. Come on, AC should be on, this should be on, everything has to be perfect. They need this also, that also. Everything has to be perfect for my child. They should be extremely comfortable. When we go the full 9 yards here, then they will not learn how to be tolerant when they don't get all of these things. We are making them dependent. This is not called love when we are going to the extreme scenarios. And also important to check if a child is going through some discomfort in the body or in an academic kind of situation. How are you feeling? You have to first remain calm. That's the only way you can teach your child that these kind of health issues will come. And it is also good for the parent to slowly, as they're growing up, right, to say, hey, if you keep talking more about this is paining, this is hurting, it will only increase. Because hurting, one, I'm creating that energy. Now many people are creating that energy on my behalf, saying, oh my gosh, Meghna is hurting, Meghna is hurting. So now I was only feeling the hurt, only me, and I was trying to get rid of it. Now not only am I creating a lot, there are many people who are saying Meghna is hurting. So the hurt will become bigger. So we have to, in many ways, teach our kids that, hey, this body, it just matter. It will keep changing. Don't worry. We need to be strong. We need to be calm. That's when it'll heal faster. So few things we can tell our kids, and also about, how share stories about how, you found families to be different, and how you had, everything you had adjusted to, tolerated all the discomforts. Talk about those stories, all the kinds of things we have done, and how tolerance has enabled us to stay together as a family, including the grandparents. How have we adjusted to each other? So some of those story sharing also does help, but first is practice, and that's when everything else comes. um, just leaving with few beautiful quotes on tolerance from Brahma Kumaris. You can find them also if you search on web. It does not mean Tolerance does not mean to die, but to live in everyone's heart with love. It's a power that builds the muscle of the soul. It is like an air conditioning in a room. They increase our efficiency. How powerful is this? We don't need any air conditioning. And this is a fact. In my house, everybody will be, I need air condition, and I'll be the last one who will say, I need air condition. Because your inside is so air conditioned with peace that outside nothing matters. It's the ability of your heart to value relationship and peace more than other people's weakness. How beautiful is this? I am, for me, people's relationship with the people, peace in the house, family is a lot more important than breaking due to intolerance of somebody's weakness. With that, pretty much we are done for today's class on tolerance. If you have any questions, please. Can you talk about the emotional tolerance, not the physical tolerance? So I think the emotional tolerance mostly comes from people's different personalities, right? Where a person is very, very different. Their emotional behavior, their attitude, their choices are different. Is that what you're talking about when you say emotional tolerance? Um, Sorry, I I think somebody asked this question. I don't know who it is. Can you talk about emotional tolerance? So, do you mean talking about people's difference in opinions and behavior? Is that what you're talking about? Other questions are most welcome if you have any other questions. So, some I think this particular staying up late in the night for teenagers these days has become the new normal. And I think we have to be a little tolerant towards this new habit and new way of living where they stay up late in the night. When I get up, my child is actually going to sleep. And I will say good morning, and the child will say good night, right? So, this is the new norm. And yes, they need their own few hours of sleep, and then they get up. There is a lethargy, then it kicks up. I have accepted it as a new norm. I did try to teach and I continue to tell, but with a lot of gentleness and with because my son is also 20 now. And I can't really lecture them about anything. But yes, I do tell them how much this will impact their health and how this is affecting their activity. But luckily, he does like sports, so he's active in that particular way. So, but really, there is not much we can do other than being tolerant, and our own tolerance and calmness and acceptance of that enables them to change a lot of their behavior. But the first step to any kind of change, so tolerance, and then with the intention that I need to remain peaceful, and then with that I have to come up with a solution, and that solution could take some time, but there is really nothing more that we can do here. So being tolerant to kids naughtiness, right, really, especially when they are younger than 5 years old, indeed they are learning how to become smart and get away with things and everything, but still it requires that there is a sense of innocence as well in them. So we do have to discipline wherever we can. Um, and and then discipline is the key that wherever we can discipline, which is like taking away few things from them which they like, and then also kind of instilling the importance of getting work done. I think we are pretty much all out of time now. If you have a minute, please stay back for a short meditation, and we'll see you again next week. I am a pure, peaceful, loving, joyful, and a powerful being. Every power that I need is already within me for me to unleash these powers. I need to remember that I, the soul, has these powers within me. If I only rely on external support, if I only rely on my arrogance that people should behave a certain way, then I'm not unleashing the powers within. I'm actually destroying them by getting upset, angry. Anger, sadness, resentment destroy the powers of the soul. Raj Yoga meditation, connecting with the highest energy, enables the soul to regain its lost powers, its lost identity. I am a being of light and might. My Father is the Almighty Authority. Thank you all for joining me today. I'll see you again for the last class next week.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you,
Om
sister.
Shanti.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti, thank you.
Om Shanti, thank you.
Thank you.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti.